Okay, I want to hit some numerous stories today. I'm always really, really ready to roll when the show comes around on Monday. I kind of miss talking to you all weekend. So I want to tell you, first of all, that we had a great adventure. My husband and I had a great adventure on Friday. We went to, now Friday was Juneteenth. It is the holiday Juneteenth, which is a celebration of when former slaves in Texas actually finally got word that President Lincoln, Republican President Lincoln, had issued the Emancipation Proclamation and that slaves were freed. Obviously, no internet then, no telephones, there's just no way to get the message instantly. But Juneteenth celebrates when former slaves in Texas learned that they were freed. And so Juneteenth is a holiday. What we did on Friday, on Juneteenth here in Texas, we went to the world premiere of an incredibly wonderful movie, and it's called Uncle Tom. Now, you know, the expression Uncle Tom is a derogatory expression. It's used by liberals and leftists to mock Black Americans who they don't perceive to be Black enough, or who don't follow left-wing protocol, who won't do what the left tells them what they have to do, who won't say what the left wants them to say. So Uncle Tom, this was a world premiere film, a documentary, a stellar, fabulous, great documentary. And what we were able to do, not just that we had the world premiere here in Dallas, which is so great, but actually the people involved in making the film were there. So we had the incomparable Larry Elder, a Black conservative pundit, been active in speaking the conservative message to the Black community for decades. This is really his film. He was there. Actually, the filmmaker, the director of the film, Justin Malone, was there. But there were just, Herman Cain, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, Pastor Stephen Broden, pretty much, Brandon Tatum, pretty much all the characters in this who took part in this documentary were there. So it's just enormously exciting, very exciting evening. They did the presentation. I think it's like an hour and 38 minutes film. And then they got up on stage. They actually had Larry Elder and the filmmaker, this young guy, by the way, the young filmmaker, Justin Malone, numerous other just luminaries in the Black conservative movement were all there, and all speaking about making the film. The gist of the film is Black conservatives trying to explain to America, number one, why they are conservative. Number two, the battles they face. Wasn't whining and crying, but it was just talking about when you are a Black American and you realize that the Democrat Party is just using Black Americans to hold on to power, when you realize that the values of the Democrat Party do not support, you don't agree with them, and you make a decision as a Black American to become a Black Republican American, and especially if you're outspoken in your conservatism, you are the subject of ridicule, hatred, disdain, mockery. We've talked about this many times on this show, but the film was just a kind of running commentary by many of the people in the film, talking about their life experiences. I have Matt the Wonderful. I have just a quick preview. This, I think, a 30-second preview of the film that we got to see the world premiere here in Dallas. So here you go. Matt the Wonderful has this clip.
Of the Democratic Party.
The party of slavery.
The history of the Democratic Party.
Jim Crow laws.
They're erasing all of the history of this country.
They want to cover up history.
The real history, not the revisionist history.
If you are educated,
Black people have been taught
a narrative that has been created.
You're actually miseducated.
And that's when I realized I've been lied to.
I had been misled.
It unraveled everything that I knew to be true.
You can go to the website. Let me tell you what it is. It's it's on our website. If you go to americacanwetalk.org, on the homepage under shows, drop down list of links, you will see that I put a link to that little teaser clip, 30-second clip. I also put a link to the actual website where you can buy the movie. I actually bought the movie, so I have it electronically. I also bought the video. We're going to hold a showing in our home. But part of why I want to talk about this today, besides it was just so inspiring, it was such an inspiring evening, I really want to commend and talk about the bravery of Black conservatives in this country and what they have faced for decades at the hands of the white liberals who claim they're the ones speaking up for Black America. Stop and think about the absurdity of that. It is often the caustic, just nasty hatred of liberals, white liberals, who just are talking about and talking to and commenting about Black conservatives as if they are the most vile, evil people. How, and you hear the lament, the hatred in the tone used in the discussion of Black conservative heroes like Larry Elder. Certainly you saw Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, the way often the Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas has spoken about, Herman Cain. And this movie was poignant. It wasn't a story. It was a series of interviews, and they would flashbacks and describing history. And I mean, it was tremendously moving. I cannot urge you strongly enough to get it. But I also urge you to think about this. We are in this country under direct assault by BLM. And I'm going to get to my next segment. I'm going to talk about the difference between BLM, which is the abbreviation for Black Lives Matter, but BLM, the Marxist movement, and the actual reality that Black lives and all lives, of course, matter. BLM is a Marxist movement. They are engaged, not just, when I say Marxist, I don't just mean the technical definition where you have to define the difference between Marxism and socialism and communism and collectivism, because the left tries to get you all tangled up in parsing those little distinctions between those words. But what the left has done in this country, what the BLM movement is, what Antifa is, forget all their determination to parse and then criticize because you didn't precisely use the right term. They're about taking away your freedom. They're about taking control of America. They're about taking away your liberty, your freedom to speak what you believe in, your freedom to live as you choose. The radical left, the Marxist left, is what BLM is. We're going to get more into that in a moment. But I want to wrap up this segment about talking about this movie, this amazing Uncle Tom movie. In fact, there's a great link on our website, americacanwetalk.org, on the homepage, under shows, drop down list of links. You can read about the making of this film. You can read about the people involved, because there are numerous Black conservatives. Some apparently have been either doing radio shows or been spokespersons. I hadn't even heard of them before, but there are many in them. And what you really get from them as you listen to them speak, and then of all the great thing to get to hear them speak in person, what you realize, there's a genuineness of conviction. They don't have a motive. They don't have an agenda to take over the world. They have nothing but their purest thought that as they study, one person talked movie about it. I actually sat down and read the Democrat Party platform and the Republican Party platform. And I realized I don't believe in anything the Democrats believe in. This is true for many Americans. There's tremendous pressure in this country to submit to the radical left in this country. There's tremendous pressure to silence conservatives, certainly to silence Black conservatives who dare to speak up. And these people were able to share their life stories with people in their families, commentary from their families about, how everyone knows that Blacks growing up are taught you must vote Democrat, and how hard it is. And what the thing is that they're doing, they're standing up for what they believe in. They're thinking for themselves. They're standing up for the Republican Party's values. And I'm not saying every Republican is perfect, far from it. But the party's values, Republican Party values, conservative values, these are the same values as the founding of our country. The Republican Party values, again, not perfect. I can't defend every Republican in this country or every Republican elected official, but the values, the ideas of the Republican Party are the same as the values of the founding idea of America. And these people, these brave people who've been speaking up in the Black conservative circles for decades, are brave enough to say what they're saying, even in the face of being criticized, not just by maybe their immediate family, but by everyone in our culture, by media, by Hollywood, by all sorts of people in journalism, in movies. Anyone who's a Black conservative is mocked and ridiculed, and these people made a movie called Uncle Tom to talk about the idea that it's time for more Americans, especially Black Americans, to re-examine their political affiliation, re-examine their thinking about why they vote the way they do, re-examine the behavior, the conduct, the values and ideas of the two parties, and recognize that the idea that they have been corralled into, arm twisted into, identified, siloed into, if you're black, you must be a Democrat, is not good enough anymore. Oh, Candace Owens, she was brilliant. Candace Owens had many brilliant comments in that movie too. So can't urge you strong enough to watch it, and follow with a commentary about it. Just a great and obviously very, very exciting evening.